Some statement of interest to me is basically customer face difficulty while choosing their eyeglasses frames on the app or in our stores that match their facial features, and this causes indecision, frustration, and slow purchase cycle for the user. So going deeper into task analysis, so the key task for the user is to find the best fitted and the most flattering eyeglass frame as per the user, based on their unique facial features. So if I go into a basic task analysis, the user uploads or captures the face photo, system analyzes the facial features like shape, proportions, etc., and then there is a recommendations. AI recommends frames that suits the user's face. User previews and shortlist from these recommended frames, tries on frames from the shortlist, and finally orders the one that the user liked the most basis multitude of factors like goodness, price, material, etc. So the insights for simplification based on this task analysis is that we can automate detection of the face shape feature detection to remove guesswork from the human if the human is doing so. Also, provide instant visual recommendations to reduce decision fatigue. Instead of using a heuristic model here, we can use an AI model to provide these recommendations, which finds a match between the frame and the user facial features, right? And then we can also provide user the virtual try on for immediate feedback and confidence in the selection, and we have to streamline this flow to minimize necessary steps and options. Now moving on to the user experience design. This is one of the wireframe that I've kind of highlighted. Maybe on our app we try something like this: discover frames that match your face, where we clearly highlighting that we are using AI or machine learning model to give you facial recommendations. We are highlighting that AI will detect your facial features, find matching frames. So there can be something like a match score or a fitting score, and we can clearly highlight that this is in a feedback phase, so we can actually take feedback from the user as well, right? And the user interaction can be the moment the app opens. Basically, if the user clicks on this try now, we open the app. The app opens the camera and asks user to click an image. Then AI analyzes based on the image the facial features and showcase these facial features. What are the facial features which are detected, like face shape, nose shape, jawline, forehead, cheeks, and show these things that the algorithm has find out, and take a user feedback on them. As in, if the user wants to change any of the information, they can. And then basically, we take a user CTA that to find the recommendation for the user, and post that we immediately provide recommendation based on the user feedback, right? And these are again generated by AI, and the user can actually try on these frames virtually or in the real world settings, right? And then based on how the use which frame the user like, the user can select a frame and proceed for a purchase. So the key consideration here is that we have to take user inputs, and we have to put feedback loops wherein when we are showing the recommendation, we can have thumbs up or thumbs down, so that it gives that feedback to the AI system that which frames are the user liking, and which are the recommendations that the users are liking, which are not. And finally also look at which one of the frames the user actually purchased from the recommendations, right? And transparency, clearly explain why certain frames are recommended. For example, this frame suits your oval face shape and jawline. We have to give the reasoning of why particularly recommended, and we can even show a match score between the frame and the user's facial features. And we also have to uh, communicate the uncertainty, display confidence scores or best match, right? As discussed. Now the user can actually have a privacy considerations here, because we are collecting a biometric data which is a face image, and there is a potential for misuse or unauthorized sharing of personal data. The applicable laws for this are GDPR and DPDP Act in India. GDPR requires explicit user content, data minimization, and right to explanation why we are taking this data from the user, and right to erasure if the user wants to erase this data. And DPDP Act in India also has similar guidelines. Now, what are our obligations are with respect to these acts are, we have to clearly take the user consent for the image and data use. We have to tell them why we are taking this, and we have to minimize the data collected which is required in frame recommendations. And we have to also allow users to access, correct, or delete their data, protect data with strong security measures. Then there has to be ethical considerations. For example, we have to do the training. Training data should have the diversity. There can be a potential sources of bias, like less diversity in the training data. It is basically having only those face shapes, skin tones which it is trained on. So may not give, maybe it may have overfitting to certain demographics, leading to a poor recommendations for minorities. For meeting ethical AI goals, which is fairness, accountability, and transparency, we have to use diverse data set. We have to document model decisions, maintain human oversight, and look at. We have to do proper sort of a monitoring and enable user to give their feedback to us. And obviously we have to explain recommendations clearly to the user to understand, and even contest the AI decisions. For example, if we allow user to change their facial features as highlighted. Yeah, so thank you.